What is up, casuals? Welcome to another edition of the Casual Ranger. Real quick, I wanted to bring you an update to my dual bow build that I've kind of been working on, been fine tuning, been tweaking. Uses, as you know from the last video, it uses two bows, one for single target, one for area effect. So, a couple updates. We're hunting Minotaurs again here in the Gold Coast, as you can see, and I just kind of want to show you what I've done where I've been able to squeeze out that much more DPS and especially increase the burst a lot. So, let's jump right into it. All right. So, starting off, attributes. First and foremost, Nightblade, Stamina Nightblade, Wood Elf, and I'll explain why I went with Wood Elf other than the fact that I'm a noob and I didn't think to pick anything else. But I'll justify it. So 64 points into stamina. Not ideal, like I said in the last build. I'm sitting at 0 health. I probably should have more, but I don't group, I don't do anything, and I've never ran into an issue where I die because I've got a little bit of survivability given one or two skills. So, sitting where I'm at right now, 64 stamina. My weapon critical is is almost an even 6.5. My weapon damage is at 2600. All right. Max stamina is at 28k. So this is just base. Let me see if we have food. No food, and this is just major prophecy, major savagery on my single target bar slotted, which gives me this critical here. So, with that being said, that's the attributes. That's how I roll. Apologize for that. So, attributes. Let's get right into skills. All right. Let's start off with my single target bar. Lethal arrow. That's my bread and butter, and it's my opener as well. I'm very bursty at first, like really bursty, and then it kind of tapers off to an even keeled, solid DPS. So, my lethal arrow, I chose the poison spec, and I'm going to explain why. As you can see here, 11.5 thousand poison damage and applying the poison status effect, and it applies them with Major Defile, which isn't really a big deal PvE. That's more PvP, but I'm in this more for the poison damage. Second one, poison injection. Again, went with this one because it's extra poison damage. So start off, gives you right off the bat 4,498 poison damage. Additional 8,665 poison damage over 10 seconds. Kicker on top of that, it deals 200% more damage to enemies under 50% health. So, and then the last three are buffs. I have Relentless Focus, which gives me, I'm in it for the stamina regen and the increasing my damage done by 8%. Also, while I'm weaving my attacks between my poison injections and my lethal arrow, I'm getting light and heavy attacks in so that I can eventually proc on here on the bottom where it gives me Assassin's Scourge to where I can fire a single shot from a Spectre Bow at an enemy to deal 1,300 or 13,229 disease damage, which kind of is going hand in hand with the poison damage, and I'll show why here in a minute. Radiant Mage Light. Okay. Useless for stamina as is, face value. Okay? But, give me 1 second to finish off single target bar, then I'll explain Radiant Mage Light. Useless right now as is how it stands with my stamina build, but I'll explain. So the next one, Camouflage Hunter. I'm in it for the wall slotted, the major savagery, okay, and hits from crouch grant minor berserk. I always open from crouch, so that just gives me that extra little burst that I need. Flawless Dawnbreaker, I use it for the, if you look at the bottom, wall slotted, I get the 5% increased weapon damage. And if I'm in a bind and I need to use this alt, I'll use it. But I'm going to show you on my AoE, which is the alt, my go-to alt, which I always use. So, that's my single target. Now, let me explain Radiant Mage Light. It's under the Mages Guild, right here. I have it spec'd. It's the first one you get. Now, the reason why I use it is because I just need something quick to cast, so I can use this. Casting a Mage's Guild ability grants you Empower, increasing the damage of your next attack, doesn't matter what it is, by 20% as long as it's activated within 5 seconds. So, I buff up, bam, hit Mage Light, open my attack within 5 seconds. I get that 20% damage. Great burst. So, that's why I have that there. Alright, so that's single target. Let's switch to AoE/buff. So, Let me start with the buffs first because I use these two for single targets. So before I attack with single target, I'll buff up with siphoning attacks, which means my light and heavy attacks restore 1,000 magic and stamina for 15 seconds, and then all my other direct damage attacks have a 10% chance to increase 2,000 magic and stamina. Helps me sustain in fights. So, and then I tag them with Reaper's Mark II to just give them the major fracture, major breach, lowering their physical resistance down. And then when they die, I get Major Berserk, increasing my damage down for 25%. So in large groups, if I burn one down real quick, I still have all the benefits from my other buffs, plus that 25% weapon damage for 5 seconds. And then I get a heal if they die. So what I'll do is when I go into a fight, I'll buff up with siphoning attacks, Reaper's Mark, and this is on single target, switch to single target, Relentless Focus, hit Radiant Mage Light, open up with Lethal Arrow, Light Attack, Poison Injection, Light Attack, Lethal Arrow, Light Attack, Lethal Arrow, Light Attack, Lethal Arrow. And I'll spam Lethal Arrow until I need to reapply Poison Injection, and then until Relentless Focus procs. I can shoot that. So that's my single target, and I'll show you the rotation here in a minute. Let me just go over AoE real quick. So same buff rotation, siphoning attacks, Reaper's Mark, Relentless Focus, Radiant Mage Light. Then I open up with Arrow Barrage, and then immediately Light Attack, Arrow Barrage, Light Attack, and then immediately spamming Acid Spray. And just spam, spam, spam. Resolving Vigor I use in both instances, single target and area effect, because it's just my sustainability as far as my health. I start getting low, pop Resolving Vigor, hopefully I kill a target at the same time Reaper's Mark, and just get that much more healing. That's why I can afford to keep my health down as low as it is. Now let me explain this. Aggressive Horn is the ultimate I'm going with right now. It's my go-to one. It's what I open with, so I always want to open with that too, because you and your allies gain major force, increasing my critical strike damage by 30% for 9 seconds. So, my opening on single target, let's say, siphoning attacks, Reaper's Mark the target, buff with Aggressive Horn ultimate, Relentless Focus, pop my Mage Light, opening up my attack. So, that'll give me all that buff to get off those first few hits and burn them down enough. Which is good. I do the same for AoE, like I said, drop Arrow Barrage, spam Acid Spray. So, I weave light attacks into mainly for 2 reasons. To proc, like I said, Relentless Focus, because I want to try to get that extra DPS from the Spectral Bow. But also, I want to, oh, it's under the bow, sorry. Under my bow skill line, it's called Hawkeye. Your successful light and heavy attacks increase the damage of my bow abilities by 5% for 4 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So each light attack I get in there, 5%. Get another one in, 5%. Get another one in, 5%. That's up 15% damage from my bow abilities, which is all I use for damage is my bow abilities on this. So that's 15% straight damage by the time. That's why I'll have high burst, but I'll even out to a nice even 10 to 20k DPS. So yeah, I want to stay at long range because of long shots. Give me a damage bonus of up to 12% against enemies at longer range. Accuracy, just with my bow equipped, I have an increased weapon critical of 1,000, almost 1,100. Ranger recruits the stamina cost of all bow abilities by 20%, which is great because I'm going to show you how that ties into my armor. And I'm going to show you how my armor ties into my poison attacks. Like I said, Poison Injection, Acid Spray, Lethal Arrow, I go for straight poison. Alright, so, went over abilities, I explain my rotation. Now before I show you the rotation in action, I want to show you my gear, champion points and stuff. So let's go to gear. So, bow on front and back, and I'm using poison abilities, so how does that tie in? Well, first of all, I'm doing 5-piece Morag Tong. They only come in well fitted, but that's fine. 2 items adds 123 weapon damage. 3 items, 922 max stamina. 4 items, 123 weapon damage. 5 items, Morag Tong. Your attacks cause your targets to take 10% more damage from poison for 5 seconds. Okay, so that's 10% increased right there. So 5-piece Morag Tong. I also run 5-piece Hawkeyes. Increase max stamina and then increase weapon damage. 5-piece set, reduce the cost of bow abilities by 5%. So I'm already at, right now as it is, without champion points, at 25% decrease the cost ability in bows. So, and I increase their damage by 5%. So, poison injections, poison bow ability. So, I'm increasing the damage because it's a bow ability by 5%. And then on Morag Tong, attacks cause targets take 10% more damage from poison. So, you can see how that goes there. The jewelry is Morag Tong Hawkseye. That's how I got 5 pieces here, because you got 10 pieces of gear right here. So, 5 and 5. Alright, the bows, they're nothing special. Like I said, this is casual ranger, guys. I'm not optimized on gear by any means. I'm just showing you how to have a decent build for being a casual player. So I run Ruby Ash, both poison. Basically, I've made my own Ruby Ash bow and enchanted it with a poison enchant, the best one you can get. Deals 3,000 poison damage, and then I have made it sharpened because it increases my physical and spell penetration by 5,000. And same thing on my back one here, except I did precise because my AoEs, I'd rather have them crit more often because they're hitting more often than my single target. So my AoE bow is a precise bow, but they're the same bow. One's just better quality. So there's my gear. Alright, focus is poison, so Morag Tong and with the poison bow abilities, good. So let's get into champion points. I'm going to straight up start off with the ritual. 90 points into mighty. Increase physical, poison, and disease damage by 23.2% when you have 90 points into there. I'm just focusing on straight on poison. So then next in this constellation, I have my medium armor and focus. I've put 10 points into that. I'm going to leave it at 10. Here I am kind of even across for Hardy, which reduces poison, disease, physical damage by 11.5. Elemental Defender, which reduces flame, shock, frost, and magic by 11.5. And then I'm working on Thick Skin to reduce the damage over time effects. And then here I have 80 points stuffed into Warlord, reduces stamina cost of spells and abilities by 14%, on top of the already reduced stamina cost of all bow abilities that I'm running by 25. So we're looking at 38, 39. And then I have 10 in the Mooncalf, which increases my stamina recovery. So there you have it. Those are my champion points, straightforward. That's how I roll. Okay, so I kind of explained gear, all that stuff. Now, mind you, I'm not gonna be potioned up, so keep that in mind. Not running a potion right now, which normally I run a potion of weapon power, which I just don't have. So, because I'm doing the casual thing here, and I just wanted to get this video out to you guys so you can kind of get the basic understanding how it goes. So I was gonna kill that Minotaur Shaman that guy was destroying at the beginning of the video, but he ruined that for us. So we're going to have to find us another Minotaur or Water Troll, which kind of upsets me, but it's fine. So, while we're running, let me do my quick disclaimer here. I will never put my seal on this build. I will never say, hey, this is a casual ranger only build, because it's not. I drew inspiration from Deltia, from deltiasgaming.com, and from Alcast. Both great, amazing endgame players. Guys, if you want to be good, like I say in all my videos, go watch their videos if you want to be good. If you just don't got time to invest into it and be good, check out my videos, because I'm going to show you convenient novelty builds to make you good enough for being as casual as I am. I get it. I get the job done. So, like I said, this isn't my build. I'm never going to say this is my build. This is a hybrid of builds I've watched Deltia make and Alcast make, and I've kind of crammed it into one. So, we're going to fight this basic Minotaur. So, like I said, we're going single target because he's single target. So, buff up. Siphoning attacks. Mark the target. Aggressive Warhorn. Watch my buffs. Relentless Focus. Mage Light. Okay, I got stunned. Didn't mean to. But look how that was quick. That would have been a 5-second fight if I had been a little bit quicker on my feet, but I wasn't. I noobed out on that one. Which is fine. Even 2,000 single target damage right there in 6 seconds. Overall, I did 123,000 damage to him. So, let's look at the combat stats. So, Lethal Arrow was our most, because I cast that the most. So, what I do is I weave in a heavy attack. So I fired Lethal Arrow, then I charged a heavy attack, and right when I released my heavy attack, I was already holding down my 2 button and then I release my heavy attack, and I immediately let up on my 2 button, which launches the poison injection, and I'll show you that here in a second. Poison weapon procced, and then being poisoned, so straight poison damage, hit him for almost 10k, and then being poisoned, he got hit for 1,000, or 1,500-ish. Poison injection was almost an even 30,000, and then almost 70,000 on the lethal arrow. So that's kind of what you can expect. I could have done a lot better, but I derped up on that. And now we got to wait till the ultimate, and I'm not going to make the video that long. You can just imagine what it would have been like if I didn't derp that up. So, without an ultimate, let's see what the damage looks like. And I'm going to show you the heavy attack, what I was talking about, weaving that in. So, what I'm going to do is lethal arrow, charge a heavy attack, and poison injection. I'm holding heavy attack. Okay, 6.2 seconds, a little bit quick, a little bit slower, but that's fine. So I was weaving in a heavy attack there, and you can see my heavy attacks did 13,000, poison weapon, poisoned, poison injection, lethal arrow. So majority of my damage is coming from just them being poisoned, which is great for me. And you saw how quick that elite went down. And this, guys, this gear, you can buy all the gear that I have off of the vendors, the guild vendors. I upgraded it myself because I'm a clother and I'm a woodworker. I made these bows myself being a woodworker, and I bought all this gear for almost about 1,000 to 2,000 gold a piece. So it's really cheap, and you can get it, and then you can perform well enough for being a casual player. Nothing crazy. You don't have to get to endgame, and you know I'm finishing up questing in Orsinium in Rothgar. And I've had no issues with this build. Everything's dropping quick. Real quick. Let me show you on a non-elite target. Okay, Thunderbug, they're a little underpowered, but I'm not even a buff, and I'm going to show you what I can do to this guy. He's already dead. Didn't even have to get a third shot off on him. Mercenary Defender, I'll buff up and get him. Yep. Don't stand a chance. Alright guys. That's basically it for that build. It's real easy to do. It's DIY, man. You can do it yourself. The gear's easy to get. Skills are easy to get. There's nothing crazy about this, guys. It's not endgame. I don't think I'll ever put out endgame stuff, but this is just builds for average Joe. Doesn't have time to run all the fancy stuff and get all the fancy endgame gear. But you know what? This gets me through enough. Like, look, this is all I need, guys. So I hope you liked the video. I hope you tune in for more. I'm going to be off the net for about 3 weeks. I got some stuff I got to go do. But when I get back, I'm going to try to produce more videos. So special thanks again to Deltia Alcast for giving me the inspiration to kind of cram 2 of y'all's builds. It's Alcast bow gank build, and Deltia's, I forget what it's called. Overdose, I think is what he called it. But I don't do the potion aspect. I just use the bow ability part. Anyway, I crammed those 2 builds together and I made this, and it's great. So thanks to those guys for giving me the inspiration to make this, and they deserve all the credit for it because all I did was steal and put. So you don't want to die. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Catch you next time, and as always, I'll see you in Tamriel. Thanks, guys.